Great. Let's continue. So, question 2: which two statements show that the person does not feel worthy of love or friendship? Let's go back. Right. So, any suggestions? Where do you think that the person really shows that they don't feel worthy of that love or friendship? All right, let me give you the first one. So I would say it's an action that they do, right? So what action does the person do that show you that they don't deserve that love or friendship? I would say the way they describe themselves, right? So the person described themselves as shy and overweight, right? And then the next one says that when I get home, I just want to hide in my room, eat chocolate, and write in my diary by myself. Is that friendly? Guys, is that friend? Right, so how would that be displaying that they feel worthy of love and friendship? So let me highlight there. So this.
Sir, what did you just say, sir? I just came back in the class because of my internet.
Right. So I'm saying now, which two parts of this case study show that this person does not feel worthy of love or friendship? And we just said that when the person goes home and just hide in their room, eat chocolate, I'm saying, is that a friendly behavior where they're really opening up to their friends? No, right? So that kind of show you that this person is not a friendly, or they don't feel like they have love. They just hide in their room. Does that make sense?
No.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Sir, some things you do, you have people actually just hide in a room because they have nothing better to do.
All right, but if the person is just talking on a whole about how they don't feel good about themselves, right? That wouldn't like oppose what you're saying. So it wouldn't be a case where they just feel like it, because that's the reason why, because they don't feel good about themselves. So that's why they go in their room now and hide and just eat chocolate by themselves. And that's why the person's overweight. Is it just going?
Because they find food as a
right. And the next statement says, we'll go to question 3. Choose the top 3. All right, let me give you a question. Question 3. So you're going to answer this one as an assignment. #activity. Choose the top 3 pieces of advice, right, for all alone to improve our self-esteem. Write a sentence assessing why you think it is an important way to improve self-esteem. Right? So now what we're going to do to answer question 3, we're going to read what the person, Amanda, responded to say. Does that make sense? Right? So let's answer question 3 by listening what Amanda replied. Let's go here. All right? And let's say, so the person's not responding, they're all alone. All right. Now I want Jadalee to read this. Are you there? Let me quickly check. All right, Beyonce. All right, just read it for me. So we're listening to now the response from Amanda. Ready? So Amanda says, it sounds like
Sir, Beyonce says her internet isn't working.
Okay. Tristan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I know So just read this for me. Just read this quick response from Amanda. It sounds like.
It sounds like you are suffering from some very low self-esteem. Let's talk about how to improve it. It's not okay for your mother to compare you to your sister. Talk with her and ask her to help you work on your ways to feel better about yourself. It's also not okay for you to compare yourself to your sister. She may be good at netball, but it doesn't sound like that interests you at all. You like writing in your diary. How about joining a creative writing group and exploring something that you enjoy? It's also time to notice and appreciate your friends. Read some of my tips for ways to improve self-esteem. Best, best wishes, Amanda.
All right, good. Thank you. So, based on this excerpt now, your activity is going to be choose the top 3 pieces of advice that Amanda gave all alone to improve her self esteem. Write a sentence assessing why you think it is important to improve overall your self esteem. All right, and that will take us into the exercise completion. Let's go to the next topic. All right. So that was factors of self-esteem. All right. Now the next topic I want to go through is gonna be introduction to human development. All right. So right, for me, stages. So this is a new topic. Stages of human development. Excellent. All right. Humans grow and develop throughout their lives. Right? This is their life cycle. Right? After birth, there are 5 main stages of development.
Sir?
Yeah?
Since Beyonce can't hear you, she's asking for the link for the website that you're using
All right,
so
no,
she can see.
no problem. No problem. All right, there you go. Okay, you're welcome. Let's go. Right, so we're on a new topic, Beyonce. We're going on human development. So we're saying humans grow and develop throughout their lives. This is their life cycle. Oh, right. I forgot. Okay, now there are 5 main stages, as I said. List them for me. Go on numbered list. So the first stage is infancy. Second stage is childhood. Third stage is adolescence. There you go. Puberty. Right? And then we have adulthood and senescence. We're going to get into that one. That's an interesting one. You guys are going close to that one. Adolescence and senescence. Highlight the word senescence. Okay, so those are the 5 main stages. Okay. Now, what is really the infancy period? So we're gonna go really and describe the infancy period. All right, let's look at infancy. So we're gonna say in infancy now. During infancy, right? The baby depends on others to provide food and care. Right? Gradually, the baby comes about and develops enough strength to hold up his / her own head. Right? To roll over on its own and later to sit. This is followed after by learning how to walk, how to crawl rather, and then to walk. After about 1 year, the baby becomes a toddler. Alright, and this is the period of a toddler. Toddler period. 1 to 3 years. Okay? A toddler mainly walks and explores the world. That's the infancy period. Now the childhood is a period of steady physical and mental growth and development, right? From birth to just about the teenage years. We usually refer to the first 3 years of childhood as infancy and toddler years. Right? Now we're going to quickly now talk about how exactly the different aspects of childhood exist. So the 3 aspects to childhood. Right? The first aspect is that we have early childhood. Right? Then we have middle childhood. Right? And then next we have late childhood. Now the early childhood has a time span of 3 to 6 years, as I said. 3 to 6 years. The middle childhood now has a span of 6 to 9 years. And the late childhood finally has a span of 9 to 12. Alright? Final point. The child, as they grow, learns to become more and more independent. Let me give you a moment to write that off. So we're going to pause here. So we discussed the first two stages of human development. All right, then we're going to continue the last three of human development after next class. All right, so before we go into the next stages, I'm going to give you the characteristics of the first stage we're talking about, which is the infancy. So we're going to say characteristics of infancy stage. Right? Now tell me, if you have a little brother or you know of any child when they were an infant, what are some things you realize about that child? Like, what are some characteristics?
They're messy, sir.
Repeat?
They're very energetic.
They're messy.
Messy.
The way how they talk.
Right? Okay. So combining all of those, we could say, for example, they're unable to digest food, so they become messy. Right? Unable to digest food properly yet. Right? Another one is that they're loud, right? They're very loud. So we can say another one is crying. Their main method of communication really is crying. Alright? Now, as it relates to your head, right? If you were ever to touch a child's infant's head, right, it would feel drastically different compared to yours. What do you think would be the difference?
That's because they're still developing. Like they're.
Right.
Isn't it because like their skull is soft? That's why you're not supposed to be rubbed with the child's head.
Exactly, because they're still developing. So we say that their skull, right, is soft and vulnerable. So the top of the baby's head, the skull, is soft and vulnerable. One more. All right. Compared to the entire lifespan of a child, right? How would you rate this stage? Would it be, for example, the stage where they're strong, weak, or in the middle? It will be what? The weakest stage.
What did you say?
Right. Compared to the other.
So, They're not that weak. They're very energetic.
Infancy, not toddler. Infancy.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because if you have an infant, remember what's the age span of an infant? Remember, let's go back up.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, right. So after a year, let me highlight it. So after 1 year, then you call that baby a toddler. But the first year, right, they're very weak. So we could say really that this is the smallest and the weakest stage. And then that's it for this. We're going to talk about the childhood. So we're going to say now the characteristics of the childhood. Characteristics of childhood stage. Now, there's really only one characteristics, and here's why. Right? Because your body is at the age of, I think I told you the age range. What was the age range of childhood? So go back. Age range of childhood was 3. So the lowest tier, right? Then the latest tier. What's the latest?
6 years.
No, there's 3 sections. Yeah, there's 3 sections of childhood.
9 years.
No.
Sir, 12 years.
12 years. All right, let's look at why. The early childhood begins at 3, right? The middle childhood begins at 6, late begins at 9, but all of them end at 6, 9, and 12. So the latest year that any child could really be in childhood is 12 years, and that's when puberty comes in, right? So 12 years. So we're gonna say that after 12, your body's not worrying about, for example, creating anything new. Its main job now when you're at 12 is to really gain strength, agility, coordination. We're going to say gain strength, agility, coordination, as well as your bones and muscles lengthen. Okay, so that's the real only characteristics of when you're growing up as a child after puberty. Right? You just start improving your hand-eye coordination, your bones, you start to get taller, right? Acne starts to happen and all those things. Right? So that will cover the first 2 aspects of the stages of human development. But what I wanted to do is the final activity, right? You're going to tell me what's the longest stage of growth and development in infancy. Let's go down here. So the final activity, and all activities are less than 1 paragraph, right? That's the goal. Let's get you to actively read over. Activity. What is the longest stage? Infancy, adulthood, or adolescence? Right, you're gonna tell me the answer for that. Infancy, adulthood, or adolescence? That's question 1. Question 2, right? What is the name?
Should we answer those? No, sir. So, should we answer those right now, sir?
No. As homework. And then all I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna search for all the activities now, put them in one PDF file, and then put it as your homework for the week. Remember, I only see you guys once per week. Alright? So the second activity now is gonna be, what is the name of the process that begins in adulthood and eventually causes death? A, B, or C? Alright? Okay, good. So we're gonna stop here. Let me just quickly gather all of the activities. So you have 4 activities to do. Right? Let's go back up here. The first activity was to tell me true or false. Someone with low self-esteem has no skills or abilities. Write a paragraph explaining your answer. The second activity was to describe 3 factors that contribute to high self-esteem or low self-esteem. The third activity was to choose the top 3 pieces of advice for the person that wrote the letter to Amanda, right? From Amanda's perspective, and tell me in a sentence why it is important to improve your self-esteem. Right, so here's the letter that Amanda wrote back to All Alone. The advices are in here. You're gonna essentially locate the advices and tell me why do you think it's important to improve your self-esteem from those advices. And the last one now is gonna be to tell me the stages of growth and development. Which one is the longest? And the final question is a multiple choice as well. What is the name of the process that begins in adulthood and eventually causes death? All right, sounds good, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Right, so
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna put this in the group because I realize that some of you guys don't check your email or don't use email for that matter. So I'll put it in the group right now as we speak, just to ensure, as well as to submit it in some of you guys' email that I do have. But if I don't have your email, can you please send it to me, right? So I can follow up with you on your work. Because remember, since I only have you guys once per week, right? The best way that I can assess, because remember, they're gonna ask me, for example, is this student able to sit the exam this year? And I have to give them an answer. But if I don't have any work for you, how can I properly give an estimate or really any assessment of who or what you have done? Right? So don't try to hide from doing these assignments because at the end of the day, right, when you hide, trouble will seek you. So if you want to do the work, please do it. If you want to do the exam this year, I'd advise you, please start a dialogue with me so I can give you these exercises so I can form a judgment when they ask me, is X and Y able to do the exam this year? And I can properly give them a judgment of who you or what you have done. All right, everybody. So let me give you my email for those who haven't messaged me as of yet. D Thompson at Heinz.school.
Sir,
Uh-huh.
are we not using your other email anymore?
FutureGov.
Yeah.
Right. You can use it as well. So if you have anyone that you really memorize, because it's the same one, they both get forwarded to one inbox. Right, there you go. So any one of those. All right, everybody. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Let me just take attendance, and then I'll see you guys next class. All right. I'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
All right.